Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Back2Warcraft podcast. This is episode 27. Last time we were joined by Todd, and since this is the new era of the Back2Warcraft podcast, we need a new guest, and I'm so happy that one of the sweethearts of the scene found the time on a Monday afternoon, of all things, to join me here. It is from the Netherlands, Mr. ArminvB. Maestro, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man.
Awesome.
We met each other for the first time at Xperion, and I was a little sad afterwards that we only shared like 5 minutes, because is there a moment in your life where you're not smiling? Like, whenever I see you, you're either laughing or smiling. You seem
I
to
could
be
make
very
a balanced
guy.
joke here, but I'm definitely not gonna start that one. People know if they know me. But I tend to just appreciate and enjoy what I can. Because honestly, you're the only one who's in the driver's seat, so you can take it negatively, and a lot of people do. But
Oh yeah,
I'm just not that guy.
That seems to be pretty typical for Dutch people. Would you agree?
I think the people that are known, at least in the Warcraft scene, definitely have that air around them. I would agree. Is it normal for Dutch? I don't know. I don't think so. There's a lot of negative Nancy's as well. So.
Oh, yeah, you probably know a couple more than I do, but my experiences with people from the Netherlands have always been so good. It seems like you guys are all super fun, super chill, always in a good mood, but maybe those are just the guys that travel a little more, and hence why.
Maybe. I'll say, in general, I think Dutch people are a little more laid back than probably most other countries, I would say. So maybe.
Is it because of the weed?
It's probably the weed. Weed, drugs, other drugs, alcohol. Everything's legal here.
Oh man, yeah, that sounds good. I hope in a few years we'll have that here as well for the people who do those things. I'm of course not one of them.
Yeah, sure. No. Correct.
For the people who don't know you yet, a big shame on you all people out there. Who's ArminvB?
ArminvB is a 31-year-old orc player. Let's start there for Warcraft. Streaming, enjoying the game again, because I kind of stopped playing for like 12 years or so. And before that, I wouldn't say not pro at all, like semi-pro, just having fun at ESL Cups, the Zotac Cups, all those legendary old things.
You played back in the day, like I think it was 2008 or something. You played the Nations Championship for the Netherlands.
Yeah, I played 2v2 with Grubby, and we practiced a lot. I was like one of the practice partners for Grubby if he wanted to play Orc versus Orc. So we went places. I enjoyed it a lot of LAN tournaments as well. But I guess real life started. You know, those silly things. And I think that at that point, Warcraft was a little on the downhill, and StarCraft 2 was just released. And then I just sort of went all around, like different games, different things, working full time. And then, that's about it.
I guess what brought you back was like Reforged release?
Yeah. The great Reforce, the release was great, so I thought, hey, I gotta get on that boat, man.
Did you become a little masochistic over the past 12 years?
Yeah, maybe. No, truth be told, I remember the game was released in like January or something, February.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly.
Something around there.
I remember playing like 4 games. I bought the game for the 30 euros or something it was. Yeah. I bought it, I played 4 games, and I thought, okay, that's about it for me then. And I didn't play for another half a year. And then I heard from someone randomly that they put the old graphics back. Maybe it was before that, but I heard it like half a year later. And then in September, so exactly a year ago, I was like, okay, we'll try. And then it just became nostalgic as beep, and I just enjoy it.
You can curse here, by the way. We're a free podcast. No problem at all. If you want to curse, you can curse. We're not Twitch. YouTube is a little more liberal on that, and Spotify, I guess.
Wait,
as
you
well.
can't curse on Twitch?
Well, you can, but it's not really appreciated.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We got more of those in the Netherlands. That's fine.
Yeah. You can curse. You can say whatever you want here. No worries at all.
Okay, check.
So how did that work when you started playing again? What was your first anchor point or something when it comes to community? Like, where did you end up? With whom did you play?
That's a good question. There's a Dutch clan, 1UK1, shout out. They've always stayed a little bit active in like 4v4, playing arranged team, just having fun, not too serious. But somehow when I played, I think I met one of them in ladder, and he said like, "Hey, are you back, or how did that go?" And I just joined the clan, and from there on, it was just playing. But honestly, I didn't really have like a practice partner or something like that. It was just playing, having fun, sucking very, very hard, actually. That was so annoying as well, man. There's no explanation on not playing this game for 12 years and coming back.
Yeah.
I really felt like I had to learn the game again.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because there were pretty much the same tactics for like 10 years straight, and then there was a patch and everything changed when the keeper meta started, of course. So I guess you watched a lot of streams and tournaments and then kind of got into the meta from there on out?
I'll say yes, but that came later. Because I'm not the guy that... back in the day as well, I would just stick to my own plan a little bit. I'm a bit like... I don't
Mr.
know how
Winner.
you call it. So, yeah. yeah. Let's go with that. I'll still say on stream, give me Grunt Raider Walker any day, anytime, and just let me do that, and then we'll figure it out. But I still did that against every race, and then suddenly keepers came into my base, and Crypt Lord surrounded me, and I'm like, wait, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, I think it's
at that point, like, slowly at 1UK1. I was like, what am I doing here? What's going wrong? Oh, you have to do this and this and this, and I'm like, what? So that's how it started.
I think it's pretty fair for you to start that way, because for Orc that was the way to play for 15 years.
Yeah,
was always
I would say
the same, right?
even more, because at the release of the Frozen Throne, I guess Grunt Raider already started, and then
so
Walker
too.
came very soon after.
Yeah, sometimes against Undead you would go tier 3, but that was also super rare.
Yeah, and mostly for the orb.
True.
I think, from what I remember at least. But
yeah, true.
It's just crazy how much changed. And also, like, I was that kind of player, and I was very good at that specific thing. And I always remembered, like, against the YOLO players who just did what they thought was not standard, you know? I would have so much trouble. The Blood Mage first, the fishes of like back then. It's just so I don't know what to do now. GG, well played.
Oh, yeah. So you're not really good at adapting. Is that just Warcraft, or is that real life as well?
Really, I don't like change. Call me a borderline autistic behavior kind of flow. It's in that area. I don't have it, but sometimes I'm like, I don't like change. But honestly, like, that's one of the reasons why I still think I stayed for as long as I'm doing now. Because of that change, the game is completely new. Because like Farseer Headhunter, if you said that like just before I began again, like, hey, if you're gonna play Farseer Headhunter, I'm like, oh, I'm not playing that.
Oh yeah, that seems to be the case for a lot of Warcraft players. I mean, we're playing what is it, almost 20-year-old game now. That has to be in all of us somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, there's a big difference between like new players. If there's a new player that like didn't play for the last 10 years or just young, relatively speaking, they just don't know how to play Blade Master, for example.
True.
Do you play Blade Master against Night Elf? Oh, no, man, I play Farseer. And I'm like, wait, what? You can't play Farseer against Night Elf. I'm like, yeah, man, sure, this win and this win and this one. And I'm like, my mind is blown. So it's still there.
So you're with Remo on, or or of the opinion that it's still the way to play Blade Master against Night Elf and not Farseer, as I am an advocate of?
I agree that it probably is better. I think the best Night Elves in the world, let's put it like that, will probably not lose to the standard Farseer play. I think it only works as a surprise.
You haven't watched enough focus games, my man.
No, I saw them as well, and like he's one of the best, if not the best Farseer player alive. So like that's what I mean though. If you pick it up as a normal ladder player from like say 14 to like 1900, you're gonna get crushed by it.
Yeah,
because there's such unique small timings, play arounds, etc., that it's so hard to pull off. And then Focus does it, and everybody's like, "Oh, see, Farseer on GP. Why don't you just play that?" So it's
That's an interesting topic, because I feel the majority of the scene are copycats, and a lot of the scene is stuck in an echo chamber. So for a player at around 1500 MMR, is it the right choice to copy the pros, to copy the Lins and Focuses?
100%. Like basic tactics, that is. Because the problem is that in games that Focus plays against, I don't know who, Chamiko or whatever, there's so much going on in their minds that like the regular player will never ever see. And it's the smallest thing of like a peasant is there, so I will go there. And a 1500 player who watches a replay will never recognize it. And that's the small details that are gonna get you in trouble if you just copy it and don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
But like in basic, I would say yes, it's better to copy, because then at least your 80% base strategy is always going to be correct.
All right. So now I'm curious, why is there so many good orc players from the Netherlands? It's always been that way. Like, of course, there's Grubby, Rotti, you. That seems to be the best players are all orcs in the Netherlands. Is it because of Grubby or?
I think it's a lot to do with Grubby. I think even back in the day when I was practicing with him, he does take he took time to like give advice and like small details. And of course I had to get there at some point before meeting him per se, but also just copying him, watching his replays. And I mean, like his games against Moon on Twisted Meadows were a reason alone to start playing Orc, right? So I think that's just a small extra motivation, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too.
By example, I guess.
It's pretty much the same in all the regions. I think in Germany we always had good human, so there was like I think the Mios and the Spells, and then the Yosses later.
For sure.
In China, it's been the humans as well, with Sky of course, and then Infi and TH. In Korea, it's been a lot of Night Elf with the Moons, Reminds. You always need this role model in your local scene.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too. I think in general, I mean, with any sport, that is, I think, the case.
Yeah.
Like in any case, there Formula One has Max Verstappen now.
True.
And it's like a crazy like thing that if you ask someone in Holland, do you watch Formula One? They'll always say yes, no matter what. Crazy. Just because they then can say we have Max Verstappen. It's like such, and that's in any sport, like in tennis, in football. It's probably all the same.
Are you watching Formula One then?
I am watching Formula One. I know Max Verstappen. Do you know?
Yeah, he's really good. But were you always a fan, or is that due to the Netflix documentary?
No, I watched way before even Max Verstappen was in a Formula One car.
Damn.
But even I can easily admit that has definitely helped with like keeping the schedule and like sticking to it.
It's pretty crazy. Here in Germany, of course, Formula One was big in the 90s with Michael Schumacher and
for sure.
The other guys. And then I didn't hear anything about it. And all of a sudden, my Twitter timeline is flooded with Formula One whenever there's a race.
Yeah, it's pretty hypey at the moment. I think it's I don't know, up and coming sport or something. I can't really place it either. But
if there's a well-made documentary about a sport that helps so much in like connecting with people, because everybody knows what Formula One is about and yet nobody is watching. But if you see the people behind, then they're attracted to it. It's kind of similar with what happened to the Smash Bros community. I don't know if you know that documentary.
I don't know that one.
Dude, it's one of the best gaming documentaries ever. It's about players who played Smash Brothers competitively in like the early 2000s on like little CRT monitors and stuff. And they explain the rivalries, they explain the game. So I guess we need a Warcraft documentary to really show the greatness of the people like ArminvB.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say that, but I mean, even Grubby did it at one point. Like,
true.
That is like 12 years ago, I think.
That was a Dutch filmmaker, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was on TV and everything.
Damn.
I remember that as like, look, for my parents who just thought like, oh fuck, he's gone, he's lost,
it's just
whatever. Man. You just go computer and we'll see how you figure out your life. But then they also, even that, it's not even a joke. They actually thought like, oh, whoa, that world is already starting to grow pretty fast.
Oh damn, it is on YouTube actually. I remember when that came out, it was behind a paywall, pretty sure.
Could be. I forgot the name though.
Beyond the Game.
Yes, that's it.
It was about WCG, I think 2008 or something. Oh man.
It was after he beat Moon. I believe.
Oh.
And then that was part of the...
Oh my god. That's a trip down memory lane. I haven't seen this in 14 years.
Genuinely, people, like link it in the description after or something, because it's pretty cool to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A little bit of hype around it.
Yeah, it's about Grubby, Sky, Moon, and Madfrog, I guess.
Yeah.
Not sure where they got Madfrog from in 2008, but...
good point.
Yeah, I think he wasn't playing at that point. But yeah, I remember that it was behind a paywall and nobody could really watch it. I think you need a credit card, and in Germany we still pay with cash. So as a 16-year-old, I couldn't steal the credit card. No, I couldn't have it.
And Dad's probably like, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Yeah.
So now we covered a bit of who ArminvB is. So next question for me is, who is Oscar Whitson?
Oh boy. A guy that works full time. That is 40 hours in the Netherlands. Played games my whole life. Definitely a big part of it. Playing tennis, also a big part of it.
Damn.
I used to be pretty good. But then I got a wrist injury.
Oh shit.
That kind of hit hard. I was playing like 30, 35 hours a week.
Ooh, so that's a lot of games.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of tennis.
Was that before you got into competitive gaming or at the same time?
Around the same time, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember the problem probably from hindsight is that it was both tennis and gaming at the same time. My wrists got a lot of action, and not in the action the comments will be about. So it's not good. It's not good. So they never got any rest, and then I think it's inflamed, or I don't know how it's called.
Yeah,
but it's like I can't hold my tennis racket anymore.
That's still the case, though. Then.
Well, I still have like cramps randomly, and definitely still have an issue with it. Yeah, it's been 9 years now. First, like 3 years, I couldn't do the laundry or the dishes. And not just because I didn't enjoy them. Because I legitimately, after like 2 dishes, I would just cramp up and have to have a break and then again.
How can you play so many games then? Because like...
Now you mean, or...
Yeah. Or even back then, or like did you stop entirely?
I kind of stopped a little bit, or at least took it slower and like more breaks in between, etc. Yeah. But now it's more like if I sit the same way for more than like let's say 4 hours, then cramps can like.
We also we're all getting old, eh? It's not the same anymore.
Yeah, probably. It's probably not beneficial, let's say, yeah.
So then, you had a job, or was like studying or getting an education or something, played tennis for 35 hours, and played Warcraft on a competitive level. You must be freaking amazing at time management.
Well, I became a project manager in IT, so there's something in there that helped. But honestly, though, I would almost say I usually just wing it. But I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of order in the chaos. But I just do a lot. And some people in my past also took the L for it, let's say.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not just all pretty and but yeah. Shout out to my girlfriend, I think, who is probably the most patient and understanding girlfriend alive. So,
or she's really happy when she got time away from you.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, no, sure, cool, it's fine.
I'll do some shopping in the meantime.
No, but we're great together. But even there in the start, it was like, wait, why don't you have time for me now? And then I'm like playing tennis, and then the next day I'm playing a tournament, and then the next game. So it's it's difficult times, but also worth it, I think.
So nowadays, when you're not playing, you probably spend time with her.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What's a typical day off for Armin?
Oh, wow. Honestly, most of all, it's just relaxing. I'm a fucking legend at doing nothing. So honestly, I will never, ever be bored. And I haven't been bored in like 20 years. And I'm not even exaggerating. I just don't know the setting. I'll just check my phone on Twitter or whatever, but also just enjoying series, watching TV with my girlfriend, for example, doing walks. It's more and more becoming a thing for me, and it's also important. Keep walking, boys and girls. But it's just great for just chatting, just having some alone time. And the danger is burning out, I think, if you're doing a lot at the same time. And it's you have to find a balance. You have to find those things to keep getting the energy, etc.
Yeah, sure. I can totally relate to everything you say.
Yeah.
I think I was pretty close to a burnout at some point, and then you have to learn. Like, you hit a wall at some point, which might not be the ultimate burnout wall, but you're getting pretty close, and then you just have to adapt. You have to take the time to read every now and then, to take your eyes off of screens, or just put the phone away for a couple of hours. And exactly. I really had to learn that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable how many I know, like marks or alerts that you get without you even realizing if you actually start counting them. And that goes from like a Discord message to a text to a WhatsApp to in-game to a tournament to a stream. Anything can trigger you, and it's so much, man. People have so much to handle these days. It's crazy. Yeah,
that was one of my biggest takeaways from the month break that I had. Just delete Discord off the phone, or at least turn off the notifications so you're in charge when you're looking at Discord or Twitter or whatever that is.
Absolutely.
I
got everything turned off. Any sound I could get from my phone, except for getting called because of work.
Yeah.
But anything else is turned off.
I'm in control, bitch. You don't tell me when. You don't tell me when to look at you.
Exactly, and then you have nothing to do for 5 seconds, and you're like, "Wait, am I on Facebook again?"
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta refresh Twitter. There must be a super important message since the last time I checked 30 seconds ago. Oh man.
Maybe there's a new one. I'll swipe down. Swipe down.
Exactly. Oh man, that's the worst. Nothing happens in these 2 minutes. It's really not that important. And if it's important, people will probably call you or something.
Yeah, you'll hear about it anyway.
For sure.
Exactly.
So you're still grinding a lot of tournaments. You're grinding probably every ESL Cup, every 4 Players Cup that you're allowed to play in, every qualifier that there is. How are you not getting frustrated by some bad results? Because I think it was last week when you played DreamHack Open Qualifier on Sunday and unfortunately didn't make it. I was really rooting for you, but probably not your day. And then the next day you play ESL Cup again when you probably know that you're again in a bracket with Happy like every freaking time. So
meeting Happy in the quarterfinals is actually becoming a meme. It's true.
Marked in the calendar, like Monday, 8 p.m. date with Happy.
Yeah. Usually when people ask me something to do, like on Warcraft or like do another game or something, I'll be around like 8 o'clock because then I'll lost to Happy, so it's fine. And then I'll say lol, and then 5 minutes later, it's gonna be Happy.
It's gonna be, yeah. I don't know if it's an issue with the seedings at the ESL page or if you're truly that unlucky that it always happens.
No, I think it's just random, I guess. There is a thing to say for like, I think the more you play ESL, like regardless how you do, I think you get some internal like MMR somehow, and that's gonna be your seeding. So I'm pretty high seeded for like the end result I usually get, and then I think because of that I am usually like very close to the big four, let's say, with like Sonic, Happy, Foggy, and I'll forget someone, Michael, for example. And then usually I'm just below that. But that's probably because, as you say, I just grind every single year.
Yeah, then you're probably rank 5 or something that puts you into a bracket. Or
depending
8,
on. And then probably like how the bracket works, the chances are probably high that I come with Happy or something. Maybe something like that. But
so how do you deal with defeats? Is there a special way, or are you just turning off the computer or start a new ladder game to wipe that away?
No. I'm very, very frustrated after losing any game. Honestly, it doesn't matter if it's a ladder game or the World Cup for all I care. I just do not like losing. Never have, never will. It has always been the case with games as well. With tennis, I think that's what it came from, like way back when. The thing that I used to get over it is basically just saying, okay, next time I'll beat him. And it's like intrinsic, like for me, it's like, I want to beat him. I really have to beat him. And that's like kind of part of the motivation. And that's how you just accept it. There's honestly no other way to for me at least, to accept defeat. Because if I say, okay, you're better and I'm never going to beat you, that's for me, that's like throwing in the towel.
True.
Even if it's against Happy, I always, like way back when I started, I made a joke. If I ever win against Happy, I'll stop streaming.
Dude, you got super close not too long ago. That freaking game on Northern Isles, man. I'll never forget.
That's the reason I threw the game. So
that's very good.
No, but honestly, like it's something like in my mind that I need in order to compete and to like keep improving, is to work through a goal. And then like, let's say I win at some point in my life against him, then it's gonna be okay. I'll win the next best of 3, and that's the goal then. And you know, it's you gotta have a goal in any competitive setting, I think.
Do you feel like there's some kind of rivalry between you and Hippo? Because I feel like your rise started at pretty much the same time. You grind pretty much the same hours, or at least the same tournaments. So I guess you get around because you're kind of like, you're super nice people, both of you. But is there some kind of rivalry between Hippo and Armin?
I would say no. Maybe he has a different opinion, but I really don't see him as a per se rival.
Okay.
He's a great guy. Met him at Xperion even.
That was my segue, man.
Yeah, good bridge. But I never had any trouble with him, or at least from my part. And I think we're just like, okay, sure. And we even like practiced one-on-one here and there.
Cool.
Honestly, there's no way that I would be in any way.
I mean, it can be a friendly competition between you.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. It's like who meets Happy first in ESL, stuff like that. It's on. That's actually like we're memeing against each other. Oh, good luck against Happy. Yeah, you too, man. And then we're starting and like, haha, you're fucked. And then like, yeah, but I am too because I play Foggy in the second round. Oh, sucks, man.
Yeah.
So it's in that way, yeah, there is some kind of like vibe going on for sure. And I think we're close on the level as well. We beat each other on a good day.
It's really cool how it's back and forth, and 1 week you have the better results and the other week Hippo is there, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
Segway Xperion LAN was the second one, and you were there for both. I was there for the first time, and unfortunately I had to cast some small DreamHack qualifiers, so I couldn't attend. But Xperion LAN in Cologne, man, how was the second edition?
Yeah, the second edition was just a continuation of the first. Very good vibes, very friendly people. The setup was a bit different because now it was 1 day, and a big thing was also that the MMR gap was closer. Because last time we had X-Lord and won, and it's like at the start of the game it was like, yeah, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Either of them, and they're gonna be in the finals. Side was in there as well, so we knew what the semifinal would be, a little bit like that. And I think now it was way closer. I think Trunks and Ado were probably favorites, maybe Kevin as well. But there's like a lot of people who can shine. Like Tom is there, Scars is there. They're all people that are capable of doing upsets, playing well, having their game, their day, and just I think that showed in the final even of the results.
That was sick. Yeah, Kevin won it eventually with a 3-2 after Tom had a 2-0 lead in the grand final of all things. Oh man, it was
Did you see the games or no?
I did see the first 3 and then I had to leave.
Okay.
The first one was like a tier 1 tower push, I think, by Tom.
Yeah. It was a hidden war mill. Can you believe it?
That was so cool, man. Tom really impressive at times. But
yeah, he got his tactics for sure.
But since this time the competition was a lot closer, were you guys still super friendly with each other, or was there a more competitive vibe because it was about the tournament win?
Both, but most of all friendly. It was competitive because you want to win, but it's definitely friendly. I had people playing against me and they're like, wait, hang on, wait 1 minute. And I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, I'm getting a beer. So it's just like the vibe was crazy, and everybody around is just happy to be there, happy to play. I mean, Hippo came from actually all the way on the ocean, so
from freaking
it's
Manchester.
Very cool. Yeah, it's just an awesome vibe, honestly. Nice people, and also shout out definitely to Xperion and Ente for organizing, because they delivered on both occasions for sure. The organization, the hardware that's there, just like the event itself is just so easy for players. Everything is there. You need nothing else. Even like installing your software on the PCs, etc. I remember from 12 years ago, you were not having a good time, man, on your XP machine and all the... Oh, that was terrible. But now it's just like, oh yeah, you can install the admin on the PC, just do your thing. And
technology in 2021, man. So there was no network issue this time.
No. Blizzard got called, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, no issues at all. No, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't wait to shut down my own stream to just tune in to the Xperion stream. Todd was hosting, I think, most of the time, if not all the time, with Slash, and these guys have such a great dynamic, or had such a great dynamic this weekend. And also, it didn't really matter who was the third guy on the cast, because there was oftentimes a player casting with them. It was such a great vibe, not too competitive, but still respectful to the players. Super fun, for sure. And it felt very inviting.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too, and I really do hope, like after Corona, that more visiting possibilities and facilities are gonna be there. I think that's one of the small things that that can be improved. But I fully understand with Corona that it's gonna be hard for now, at least. But maybe things are getting more and more open again, so maybe you never know.
I never know.
That would be the icing on the cake for sure.
So, who's your favorite player you met so far in these two Xperions?
Oh boy, that's setting me up already.
Yep, I know.
Favorite player,
or someone that stands out
Honestly,
because he's super funny or something.
I think it would be Celebrate.
Damn.
It might be a possible dark horse or something. Like people might not exactly think of him in the first sense, but he is honestly such a nice guy as well. Genuinely just nice. No tricks, no weird stuff, just a nice guy.
Cool.
And it's I mean, I like that kind of person. Like in a general sense, I said it to you, but like a person like that is just always gonna have massive pluses in my book. But it's almost unfair to ask me the question.
I know, that's why I did it.
Basically, everybody is yeah. No, but honestly, Celebrate like I'm not gonna say surprise me because I know him from the clan I'm in now, S4S, and he's always been that way. But you know, sometimes in real life, people are gonna be more awkward or way less social or way different. And he was like the exact thing I had in my mind. Is like,
Cool.
so you're you.
Nice, man. That's really
That's
cool.
just yeah, a massive shout out to him, I think, for being that nice and just keep it up, I would say.
So speaking about your clan, I know that, for example, the Playing Ducks, they are a team, of course, and they stick together, but they also flame each other a lot, just to, I don't know, motivate each other, poking fun at each other. What's the what's the atmosphere at the Spartans?
Oh, instant wholesomeness.
Damn.
I remember it's just like I like being there, and whenever I lose, as we talked about before, I will be down. I will be mad at myself because I could have put the grunt there and not there. Why did I do that? I'm such a moron and I can't play. I suck. I should retire. Nothing goes well anymore. But they will always say like, hey, it's fine. You tried your best. You know, next time you'll be back. You're stronger next time. You'll win it next time. It's just so nice to be there. Especially back in the day, let's say, there was a lot of toxic people as well. And even now there still is.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy with finding them and that they allowing me in and just receiving that same wholesomeness, I think. Yeah, it's a boring answer, I know, but it's honestly the truth. It's such a nice place to be.
I didn't know that before you answered the question, but I expected it. That's why I wanted to point out the differences between the Playing Ducks and you guys, because if I'm looking at Slash, who's leading Playing Ducks, I can totally see why the rest of the clan is obviously poking fun and mingling with each other. But when I look at Sparta, this guy is freaking wholesomeness in a human body.
Yeah.
So
100% agree. 100% agree.
I expected this kind of leadership from him, to be honest.
Honestly, I was even debating between Celebrate and Sparta. But like, you know, everybody knows Sparta already. Like they know the streamer as well. So I thought like
they should. They definitely should.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The first one is an A.
So,
but I agree, and like there still is banter, and we do have fun, but it's never on the verge of like flaming or haha you suck. You know, it's not that way. I guess it's more supportive, more in that area. Yeah, for sure.
So after the tournament, did you drive home again, or did you spend time with the boys?
I drove home. I was the boring guy again.
Again, really? Second time in a row? Damn, yes, Armin.
Yes. Yeah. No, honestly, it was part of the reason is what we talked about earlier. That I need my rest as well. And I know if I go there and stay there, it's gonna be very much a lot of fun, and I'll be wrecked for the next week of work. And
all right.
I probably wouldn't have been here as I am now. So it's also about self-protection, and I do genuinely think it's a lot of fun. And I saw some pictures in the Discords, etc. So I did miss something, and I'm hoping next time I'll I don't know, I'll crash at Tots and we'll play some PUBG or you know, something like that.
Yeah,
it could happen for sure, and it's not that I don't want to, but there's certain boundaries that I have to set in order to Maybe next time.
That sounds like you reflected on yourself a lot when it comes to this. Like, you know exactly where your limits are and you don't really cross them and you just do what's best for you. That sounds really, really healthy.
That I don't cross them is just 100% not true.
Okay. Okay.
The tennis injury I told about earlier was because I played a lot, and then the doctor said, "Hey, you need to stop," and I said, "Yeah, sure."
And then
I continued.
Oh, damn.
And then I went to a hospital because I couldn't hold my racket anymore while playing tennis in a tournament for about 2 weeks already. So, whatever. And I told the doctor, like the actual doctor that looked at the x-rays and, whatever. And he said like, hey, what the hell did you do to your arm? I play tennis a lot and, just performance and I want to win. Okay, and since how long is your break now? Like, when did you stop? I said, no, I played this afternoon. What do you mean? and he legitimately fell back a little bit, like, what? Because on the x-ray, normally if you have like inflammation, there's like one mark of like fluid that you see, and that's like, whoa, you need to fix that. But mine was basically like a fluid arm.
Oh, shit, dude.
So it was multiple places, and the arm was just totally like, I'm not going to do anything anymore for quite a while.
Oh, man.
But it's just like, I'll just put 4 like painkillers and we'll just go.
Okay, so, but that's like 10 years ago, 12 years ago?
Yeah. I will say that
it was a lesson.
So I guess you are right in that area, yeah. There was a lesson to be taken from that. Yeah. Right. For sure.
So even though you didn't go to the pubs and bars and clubs with the other guys, was there anything particularly funny throughout the event, or like the one moment that stood out to you?
A lot of different things. I mean, Taker was there, a legend of the scene as well, super fun guy. The guy is huge, by the way, man.
Yeah.
He's like twice my size. Hello? Okay, and I'm small, I know, but still. A Hippo being there is also like a thing already, because he has to come from so much further. There's no like, you're gonna have guaranteed cash, so it's not an incentive for him to come or something. Him doing that is insane. Very respectable, let's put it like that. I don't know if you saw Todd's Twitter post of like the 4 things that stood out. I laughed my ass off for like 3 minutes.
Let me look up.
There was a post. He posted 4 pictures of weird things he saw. It was
the many setups of Warcraft 3 players. Yeah. Okay, I got it here.
I mean, that's just insane. I mean, this is Celebrate, by the way. Celebrate plays like he plays CS:GO at a professional level.
Yeah, what the hell is this?
Towards him. And that's shooter style, man. That's old school. That's 2001 or 0 or 99 even. That's insane. That's Unreal Tournament 99 stuff right
True.
There. Yeah. And then, well, that's me.
Look at you.
But what he said is like, I have my W3 booster on for the stream. And I also have it turned on for myself. And at some point I just did that. But now if I don't have it, I'll just freak out. My autistic behavior starts kicking in, and I just don't feel comfortable anymore.
Because I'm so used to it. Yeah, it does cost a few FPS, right?
Yeah, but it's fine. In the game, the PCs here were strong enough as well, but I'm not the guy that needs 300 FPS for his mind to be at ease. So.
Yeah, to all the streamers out there, take this guy as a role model, run the booster. I can't watch streams without it, man. It's so annoying.
Yeah. I agree, very much so. There's a free one as well, and that does the job that you need it from.
True.
Perfect.
And you got a wonderful, wonderful Corsair mousepad right there.
Shout out, non-sponsored.
Shout out, well, definitely sponsored.
Yeah, you are, but I'm
not. Okay, that's not yet sponsored.
Not yet. Oh, snap.
What else do we got? Oh, we got Joker.
Yeah, the thing is not on the screen, but to the left of it. Let's see if you find out.
Mini Yoda.
Yep, he always has it. It's hilarious. Like a yeah. How do you call it?
Lucky charm, I guess.
Yeah, lucky charm. Yeah, sure. And then the best one, I think.
Jesus. That fascinates me on so many levels because, of course, the keyboard is like a meter away from the rest of his body. The mouse also. So free view, I guess. And the keyboard is one of these, like, almost like on a Mac.
Yeah, exactly.
No mechanical, nothing, just very, very flat.
I think someone in the comments said it. Like, isn't that just a Dell standard keyboard?
Yeah, probably.
And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. But I know why he sits like this. I think his girlfriend got impatient when he was grinding.
Okay, I understood. Yeah, that's Trunks, right?
Yeah, this is Trunks.
That is absolutely fascinating. But
well, I think he's like an ex-Dota player on pretty high level, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I heard that somewhere. Maybe I'm just YOLOing it, but...
Well, if that's the case, then he's definitely on Liquipedia somewhere, and then we can look it up.
Probably. You're quicker on that, probably.
Can't find a Trunks. His name, Garrett. Nope! I think he played a lot of 4-on-4 or FFA before.
Oh, it's FFA then. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. Okay, my bad for the lies.
Yeah, really, really cool how much he's improving recently. Pretty much since the first Xperion LAN.
He's going very fast now. He's close to like, what is it, 2,000 MMR as well.
It's super crazy. I think, that can be something that only LANs provide. Like, that gets people so motivated and so encouraged to get better.
Sure. Yeah. The way you engage or approach those kinds of tournaments is actually different from like an ESL, or you would actually prepare a little bit, like see who you're playing, who are there, and then like, okay, against him I'll do this, against him I'll do this.
And you still go 1-4 in the group stage.
Yeah, I trolled myself. I just didn't feel it, man. I still had I won one game against Jokern 2-0, and I'm like, whoa, I won against the Night Elf. I'm super happy now because that's really my Achilles heel. And then I lost every other match 1-2, so it was pretty salty.
Oh man, how heartbreaking!
I could have won them all, I think.
Is that something with your nerves that you get too nervous when it's like the deciding map of the?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't have that anymore.
Good. Oh man.
Or at least not in a way that it would be in my way, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, against Happy, I feel like if I pause the game, think for 5 seconds, that might have helped that one game.
Yep, that legendary one game for sure.
That's probably one of the small and single moments that I could still be nervous in that kind of setting.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I lost to 84, the Undead, and normally I would say I think I should beat him, but my mind just wasn't there, and he just played better. And that kind of crushed my mentality as well. I wasn't fully in it anymore, and I just...
And was that like a late game in the tournament then?
No, that was the second one.
Oh, okay.
The 84 game. Okay. So I won against Jokern, and then I played 84. And because I lost that, and I knew I still had to play Trunks and Ado, who are definitely not free wins, I think my mind kind of went like, oh, now you're out, man. That's too bad.
But you're still going to the one in 2 months. The next one.
If I'm invited, Ante? Huh?
Hey, yeah. This man needs to be there. Needs to be there.
I already said it. Like every time I'm invited, I'll be there, and otherwise I'll play the qualifier for sure. It's just a great part of like the game, the community. It's just awesome, and it's a 1.5 hour drive.
I was about to ask it.
Yeah, it's not that far. On the way back, it's 1 hour because it's at night, so it's just no problem.
Yeah, and it's really great people, and it's a cool location, and who knows how long we can celebrate with a big scene. And this I will try my very, very best to be there next time as well, even though just for the small one. just to grab a couple of beer and getting to know the other guys is great. Awesome. I hope it doesn't clash with like Meisterschaft or War 3 Champions finals. That would be a little bit of a bummer, but there should be.
I haven't seen the date yet. I don't know exactly what the date is, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah, me neither. But I think we will figure this out in the next couple of weeks, and then of course we will report it and probably all go there and have a good time in Cologne, which is a beautiful city. Yeah. So we also had DreamHack Qualifiers that we can talk about. You probably didn't catch much of it, or did you watch on Sunday?
I watched some. I more scroll through than actually watch all the games, let's say.
Yeah. So in Europe, the qualified players are Hawk, Thorzane, who's back, Side, who's back, and then, oh boy, what a Night Elf armada. Dice, Neutron, Please, Sonic, and Star-Shaped. Once again, no orcs, but 7 Night Elves. Armin, do you want to comment on that somehow?
Well, I wish I would be there, of course, but the players and the names are insane as well. So it's very hard to even qualify, I would say. I mean, there's a lot of names that are not there that you would normally say like, oh yeah, they'll qualify. So it's kind of hard to say. Night Elf is doing well in Europe. I cannot say it any other way.
Yeah, and in Asia as well, with of course Moon, Lolite, and Colorful. It seems to be
US as well, America.
What?
It's three Night Elves.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have a chance.
It's statistics, bro.
actually, it's only.
I'll give you that one.
It's only 2 Night Elves because Wikipedia is wrong. Because Duck, I think Duck qualified over Saron. But
really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was a little confused as well. But yeah, I think Duck did it.
Okay.
So there's pretty much the perfect balance with 2 Night Elves. But yeah, it seems to be like a 50-50 thing at the moment. Half of the scene is hating on Headhunters and half of the scene is hating on Night Elves.
Yeah, I would almost say I really don't want to go into a balance thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm not that guy. What I will say is I think people are viewing the game wrong in that sense. I really think that you should see it from your own matchups perspective. And I think that is really where people are going wrong. I'll just say it now. I think Orc is in a disadvantage against Night Elf.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say disadvantage, nothing else. But that means that I will think Night Elf is probably stronger than other races, for me.
I see.
Because I know, I think against human, it's roughly the same. And against undead, probably Orc is a little stronger if you go by statistics. So for me, all other matchups feel okay. It's just, okay, it's fine. And sure, you'll have a tilting like, oh, Undead Nuke, or oh, Orc Headhunter, or oh, the MK, or whatever. But in general, I'll just view the game as fair, except for me against Night Elf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
all races have certain matchups where they will struggle in statistically, and that's the point that you can make for any kind of imbalance. And I think that's the view that people should take more than just blindly say, oh, Night Elf is OP because I lose to Night Elf.
That's true. That goes for a lot of people. Yeah, and that's the difference also between like a player's perspective and a caster/observer's perspective, because you play that matchup that you feel is imbalanced probably 4 times as much as we casted. And of course, we are not emotionally attached to it. So for us, if a Night Elf beats Orc again, then of course like, okay, it happens again. Keeper was super strong. He wasn't able. Sure. But it's just another game. Well, for you who's very competitive, you feel it a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm in the Warcraft gym as like a stage-in coach or whatever, like helping people if they have questions. And I'll be surprised at how vocal people get in any MMR. I'll have a 1100 MMR player who is just saying like, this is bullshit and nothing can be done and it's OP, what can I do? And then like I didn't know that. I thought it was more at only the higher level that you know, the hitmans, the insuperables, but it's worse down there, man. It's crazy.
And dude, let me tell you something. It gets even worse when people aren't even playing the game and just watching.
Oh, that's also possible.
That's also
I can imagine. Yeah, that's what you get from the streams, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember the Undead OP when Happy won. Yeah,
every single time. Yeah, but that was only
one of the things that is kind of that's why I'm trying to make this point, that just please be more considerate and like more towards yourself. And sure, you can find a race OP, but it's not OP. Period. There's no one set thing, and even players that prefer Orc versus Night Elf will have crazy statistics against Night Elf, and I'll be like, "How? I don't get it. I don't." Get it. And then they say like, "Oh yeah, but a human is just impossible as Orc. It's not doable. Not possible." And then I'm like, "Well, but I think we're at a small advantage." And you know,
I think the good thing is that you can always find arguments for your perspective. So
yeah, for sure,
every perspective should have some backing at least. Like, if a human is getting demolished by Orc, I can definitely point you towards a game by Chemico or Sock where they tried something pretty new and it works so perfectly. But then 2 weeks later, it can be all different. So I think since everybody is complaining, it's kind of okay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I would disagree, but that's more my view of things. And it's also, I mean, tennis is an individual sport, and I think one-on-one is as well. And I always had the mindset of, I am the only one who can change what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's true.
If I suck against Night Elf, why don't I just ask, for example, Trunks to play a million one-on-ones against me to improve?
Yeah,
and
true.
It's you know, there's the Headhunter meme at the moment, and I'll say they're very strong indeed. But the problem is, what does Orc have if you take them away?
Grunts.
They have the grunts, for example.
Yes.
But then there's a whole new different plate of issues in matchups, etc.
Yeah.
And that goes for anything. If you take away the Death Knight coil because it's OP or whatever, then you'll also have something to explain to the game, because the whole game will change so much.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating that even without changing anything, like we haven't had a balance update in
there's a lot of stuff changing,
5 months or something, and there is so much changing. It's from more obvious things that some orcs are playing Farseer TC to other orcs playing Farseer Shadowhunter, and then there's like how many Headhunters do you get? Do you switch into grunts at any time? Some orcs are playing with Outcasters, some orcs are playing with Shaman. It's a big variety at the moment, and things change on a weekly basis, I think.
Yeah, I remember when, I think it was Sock, I think you're right, I think that's the one you meant with the counter to Headhunters, right? With the Beastmaster and the Panda, the defense.
He tried.
And then the Shadowhunter came in, and it's like, lol, next try, bait.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's crazy how fast that dynamic goes and how that game is. I agree. I would love for some new patch notes. I would really, really, really love some, regardless of what the end is, because I'll probably be on the receiving end as well. But honestly, I would love some changes just to spice it up again, to change the dynamic and to have a new view on the game even. Yeah,
I definitely agree. A couple of changes would be cool. I'm not asking for anything crazy like a new tavern hero. We need a new tavern hero.
No, exactly. No,
just, you know, change some values on some of the units.
Yeah, the game has always been around small adjustments. If you go too big, crazy things happen. We saw that not too long ago, so it's
So from these 16 players in Europe, who do you think can upset a little bit? Who's your dark horse, except from, you know, the usual suspects of the Happy, Foggy, X-Lord, Hawk? Is there anyone in particular?
I think I wouldn't even. I don't know. I have two in mind. And that's Johnny Cage, who has been insane lately.
Yeah.
And I would say Starbuck.
Yeah.
Because his knowledge of the game is just beyond my capabilities. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. I don't understand Orc the way he does it. And he plays 3 other races as well. And it's just beyond me how he does it.
So you're talking a lot with him, or?
No, not per se, but just what I see, how I see it.
Okay.
In 2v2s, I remember a 2v2 with him and Kraft where he just went CORSAIR Wyvern. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And then 10 minutes later, he's just, lol, I won.
Yeah, sometimes it's also about like figuring timings out, because on paper your army shouldn't win, but if you hit that specific timing, then this army can be very strong.
And that guy knows it so well.
Yeah,
he knows it so good, and he'll beat everybody if he's getting that timing ready. So I'll say him or Johnny Cage are possible Happy Foggy beaters, I would say.
Yeah, I would say the same. I was pretty impressed with Starshaped in the qualifiers, so I hope he can go one round further. Super curious about Please, who qualified for the first time. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, there's a small meme on Please, right? On tournament levels.
What's the meme?
If you know it, but the meme is kind of that he doesn't perform too well under.
That he's like a ladder god, but in tournaments it doesn't really work out. Yeah, for sure.
Ladder, I don't kill a unit, bro.
Sick.
Not even a wisp, man. He'll just make a moonwell, and he's like, sucks to be you. Yeah.
Okay, then hopefully he can bring it to the table here. And Thorzane is back. His match versus Cooper was also pretty insane.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
And I hope he can keep it up. Then
and same with Hawk even. Like Hawk is also such a dice, I would say.
Yeah.
Like
one week he plays like a literal god. Yeah. And the next week, what are you doing, brother? Like,
although I honestly think that is a little bit on Warcraft as well. Because if you get that timing right, you're like, whoa, he found the next new tactic.
Yeah.
And if you're 5 seconds late, you're like, what the fuck did you just try, bro?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to judge based on a few games. But in general, I would say I agree, though.
Yeah.
That's, for sure.
So quick look over into the Americas, where we have pretty much the usual suspects. Wikipedia is a little wrong on this. It's Cruncher, Hitman, Kiwi, Insub, Sayso, Duck, Ark, and Hunter. So the return of Ark and Hunter instead of the Brazilians, Pato and Mist.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there any player in particular that you see perform on ladder well that might have an impact here?
Well, I would have said Pato, but he's not here.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had no time to play the qualifiers.
And from the not obvious people, I would say Hunter is the one who's getting closest.
I think so too.
But other than that, I honestly do think it's gonna be either Hitman or Cruncher.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I'm
there's
curious.
Not really a big discussion about it, I think.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would love to have Insub finally defeating one of the two American gods, just to shake it up and make the EPT
would
race
be a cool change.
Interesting.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Although at the moments when it's necessary, he can for sure beat them in a game or in a ladder game or whatever. Yeah. So there's no doubt about his capabilities, but somehow it's just not working in these high possible rewards, I guess. I don't know.
A lot of it comes down to groups as well, and it is possible that we get another group of death, as we had in summer. Like in summer, we had
summer was pretty crazy.
Hunter, Insub, and Kiwi, and this is kind of possible as well with the seedings we get. But America, always super fun. Looking forward to that. And then last big point of our podcast here, I guess, is Asia. There is quite a bit to talk about in Asia. Yeah. So we got the usual suspects here as well. Chamiko, Fortitude, Sock, Fly Focus, Lin, Linguagua, Soin, 120, Mikael, Loliot, Moon, Remind, 15 Sway, Alice, and Colorful. First of all, cool to see that neither Soin nor Sock failed to qualify because the EPT race between these guys is so close, and it would have been quite a disaster if their race is ending in a qualifier.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we got to talk about a little incident that happened. In the lower bracket, it was the deciding match between Mikael and Pink. So like a clash of generations between Mikael, the old schooler, and the 18-year-old Pink. And it was 1-1, deciding match, and Pink disconnected after 4 minutes. I do have the video prepared for us from the perspective of TED. So it's map 3, it's Concealed Hill, it's Lich versus DK. Mikael is playing the Lich, Pink is playing the DK. And it's just a little bit of a harass. It's not much going on. It's like, 3 minutes 30 into the game, or 3 minutes into the game. And in a second, you'll see that Pink's DK stops.
Yeah, you pause already.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, there we go. The DK is not doing anything anymore. Mikael kills the DK, then it's obviously that there's a disconnect between on Netty, because on Netties, it's not the same technology that we got on War 3 Champions. You don't immediately stop the game when a disconnect happens, but the game tries to reconnect you, and in that time you try to reconnect, the game just continues for the other player who's not disconnected. So this is pretty much what happened.
100% correct.
And then we were trying to find the rules for quite some time.
Yeah, we did some research.
Earlier today, we did some research indeed. It wasn't on the tournament homepage. We had to dig a little deeper into the second layer of the rule set of ESL, and then we found it. So to quote it here, if a player disconnects involuntarily within the first 4 minutes and no contact was made between the players, the match will be restarted with exactly the same settings as the first one. But I guess this doesn't apply here because it was like there was a contact, right?
Yeah, instant. And it was like 2.5, maybe 2:45, something like that.
Yeah.
The DK just ran over right away. So it's going to be at 2:30 or something.
Yeah. And then... Okay, this doesn't apply really, but you could make an argument that this applies. The opponent will be asked whether he wants to restart the map in question or not. Should the opponent opt for a restart of the map will be restarted. Should the opponent decline a restart of the map, the tournament administrator will establish whether the outcome of the map was still open or a clear advantage for one of the players was evident. So Mikael then said, well, I take the def win.
Yeah.
And Pink said, what the fuck, bro? And there was
also,
there was a big chat log coming from, I think, the WeChat group or something. A lot of that is in Korean, but there was basically Mikael on one side and the team of Pink, Linguagua, maybe Shaokai on the other side, and a couple of insults were thrown.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what do we take away from here? In the end, the admin decided that Mikael can't take the def win, or they gave the win to Mikael, who then came into our Twitch chat, I think it was our Twitch chat, saying that this is super important to him because if he promised to his family that if he fails to qualify for DreamHack, he will look for like a real job but not a gamer job. So this map was incredibly important to him, and I think that is one of the reasons why he's not giving the def win, because in any other tournament, like in the ESL Cup or something, one of the most fair players of all time, probably, also when it comes to servers and hosts, but this one, I guess, was just too important to be the super fair player in this case.
Yeah, maybe.
So what's your opinion on this whole mess that we had here?
I will say, let's start there, is that I know Michael pretty well on like Discord and chatting and stream, etc. So I might be a little biased towards him. So I'll state that right away. If you take out all emotion, because I think that's pretty big part of it because of all the flaming said reason for Michael.
Yeah.
I think there is only one outcome to the game, and the admins should decide. And because Michael says, I will not accept a re-game, because that's basically what then happened. So then it means that the admins decide. But I don't know what game the admins then watched in order to decide in Michael's favor. And I fully, Michael also deserves to be there based on his qualities, his performance, etc. But we're gonna have to be honest, and we're gonna have to take out the emotion there. Simple business standpoint, I'll say the game is as neutral as they get.
Yeah.
Because Death Knight is, even before he engages the ghouls, already a little bit to the left, he's AFK. The ghouls come in range, and the Death Knight auto attacks based on AI movement.
Yeah.
So at that point, I think even Michael, when the Death Knight died, I think he could have maybe even said like, bro, are you, hello?
Yeah, pause.
What are you doing? Like, you're losing your Death Knight. Are you not watching? What are you doing? And that's unrealistic at that level. Like, that nothing happens and he's just building a crypt lord crypt or something.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. So I think somehow that got mangled up, and maybe the raging, the flaming, I will say it never helps. In any case, if you think you're right, just go to the admin, say your facts, let them decide and accept what happens.
Yeah, I think
don't go flaming around, and it's just no point. And then this type of thing can happen because the admins probably thought like, well, hello, let's be normal here, and somehow they decided for Michael.
Yeah, if I get the chat logs right, then it wasn't Pink insulting anybody, but especially Linguagua was very vocal about this. But yeah, I think I'm kind of with you. Like, what game did the admin see to give Mikael the favor or the win here?
I think the situation got explained at the end of the replay. And based on the end of the replay, you'll say Michael won. But if you have any game knowledge, you will know that is not how the game went. Because before, the Death Knight was 0 XP. Yes, he was a little behind, but that's going to be the case if you're harassing the Lich, and the Lich gets the green camp because he uses the Novas.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, that's how the game should go.
Yeah.
It's a neutral game. And it's at 3 minutes. I mean, hello?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I don't blame Mikael to take the win if so much. It's basically his career at stake here.
Oh, but I even think that shouldn't be even part of the discussion.
Exactly. Yeah.
He doesn't take it. He just says, okay, I don't give a rematch for free. Admins decide. And then this happened. So it's part of the admin rule book apparently somewhere, and it's like decision.
Yeah, it always feels kind of weird if the rule book is putting players in a position. Disconnected. Be right back. Armin, I'm coming. Ew, my Discord crashed. Now we're back, right? Here we go. All good. Nice. So I think you should never put the player into a position where he has to decide something.
That's exactly right. He can or can't accept the rematch.
Yeah.
His decision. If he then says no rematch for me, you decide. Then it's the admin rule. There and there, it's done. That's how competition works.
I think so too. So yeah, that's a big drama, as of course manners are a little more important in the Asian scene than in the Western scene, probably. And
is that true?
To the outside, probably, for players, and behind the scenes, I don't know.
No, I will give you for the outside.
Yeah,
I agree.
So the community seems to be quite outraged that Mikael didn't give the death win and didn't stop attacking, I guess, when usually it's like a gentleman's agreement. We've seen it in big competitions that when this happens, the players or the opponents pause or the observers pause, but there were no observers in, so that they couldn't.
Exactly. It happened.
Drama.
I mean, I will say in competition, people go above and beyond sometimes. It's a thing.
Especially when there's so much at stake as it is for Mikael
sure.
now. But yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to see Remind again. He had this crazy semifinal run and then nothing else really following this up. So super crazy point race in DreamHack. We'll probably cover that next week. Because
I am super stoked that Remind is back though.
Yeah, but
super awesome.
Feels like he kind of disappeared after DreamHack again and couldn't qualify for many of the tours. So
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
people
know
just figured
his
it out.
Private situation either or something. So I don't know.
True. Very hard.
Maybe as a family or whatever, but I don't know.
Man, we are going for an XL version of this podcast already. So Patreon questions to end this. Grinchy, why do you think Germany has such a dope Warcraft 3 scene? Creep camp, Back to Warcraft, so many dope players too. Yeah, what's the reason we are so amazing, Armin?
Well, I will say I think the willingness for sponsors is insane in Germany.
Yeah.
And I honestly wouldn't be able to answer the question because I don't know why that is.
Yeah, I think
but it's impressive to say the least. It's super awesome.
Yeah, a lot of things are, I guess, lucky coincidences, but we have a long history with big exposure of Warcraft 3 to people. Like in the beginnings, like 2003, 4, it was on national television, like very, very small station, but all the gamers were watching that station. It was exactly, it was our niche. So everybody who was interested in gaming saw that and also got in touch with Warcraft esports very, very early on. There was always good production because one of the head of the ESL is a big Warcraft fan himself and always supported it, was casting it in the beginning, even like some sort of C-level executive casting Warcraft 3 because he liked it so much. So super dope. That was the case in 2004. That's still the case in like 2020, 2021. They really love this game, people in charge. And that is why we have... it's a big part why we have DreamHack. It's a big part why we have Meisterschaft.
Yeah.
Of course, we also performed well in like viewership and participants in Meisterschaft because, of course, we had these national championships in like France and Spain and I think Oceania. I'm not 100% sure, but I guess we're the only one with decent viewership. So that's why
I will say I think you are part of it too, though, right? It's Back to Warcraft as a brand now.
Yeah, I think so.
Does give incentive to especially people in Germany to think about the option at least.
Yeah, we had even back in the day we always had a strong caster scene. There was always a caster. Yeah. Like in English, you had to be lucky if like a WC3L clan war was broadcast in English. Yeah. Or even the biggest tournaments, like for WCG, you obviously had it, but apart from that, not really. So we did kind of well there.
I think also just like in general, the gaming community in Germany is massive.
True.
I think there's a very outspoken culture in gaming in Germany, way more than in the Netherlands, I think.
Probably. Yeah, I think
that's also probably part of...
Like, Sweden is probably still bigger, but apart from that, we're kind of leading in Europe when it comes to that. Also, of course, thanks to the influence of ESL and other companies who really picked it up very early on. And then when, like in 2020, we were kind of lucky that a German entertainer who's part of like Rocket Beans loved the game and showcased it on a very big channel. So there was always like this. In short, the answer is big media is covering Warcraft 3, and that leads to a community, and that leads to why we're so dope here over in Germany. Question for Armin. Why did you start playing Orc, and what would you change about the Orc race if you could?
Well, confession time. I started as a night elf.
Also like Grubby, huh?
Like
mini Grubby there.
Yeah, mini. I started, and when it became more serious, I loved the Staff of Preservation.
Oh yeah.
The micro in it was cool, like the multitasking of it and saving units because of it. But at some point, I just fell in love with the Blade Master, and the Blade Master was just so cool micro-wise to play. And then the Grunt Raider Walker meta, and I just slid in there and never turned back.
So it's all about gameplay and not about like optics or like I think I heard Scars on the weekend saying I picked Orc because they look the coolest.
Yeah, no, I'm the boring type of guy in that sense. No cool answers, no hype train or whatever. I just really like the mechanics of the race. Still do, but the Farsight Headhunters. Even in Orc Mirror, I am not a fan. So for me, they can get a taste of a nerf. No problem.
All right. For Armin, once again by Grinchy, what techniques do you utilize in order to stay motivated to enter tournaments consistently? I guess we kind of cover that.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it's I think we covered it. Most of it is just intrinsic motivation to play and to be a part of the community. I mean, I stream too, and I think it's a good stage for the stream to work. I would say.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
Yes, it totally does. I hope more people would think like you. Oh man, so many small streamers should just use these cups way more. Why are you not streaming these? I mean, some of them do, but more, way more people could do it.
Yeah, if small streamers are looking and viewing their streaming as a serious thing that they want to grow, definitely try to do this as part of your streams. Because if you land your great win, if you land your big win on a tournament against a good player, Back2Warcraft streams them, they might join your game and you'll have extra coverage. Not just Back2Warcraft, by the way. There's a lot of smaller streamers as well who just watch and stream these cups. Sparta, as we said, Slasher, OC Drummer, all those kinds of players. They Caster, sorry. They cover you then, and that's exposure for your stream. That's growth that you can have if you make funny remarks, if you I don't know, beat a player at some point that's a favorite, for example.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be beating Happy. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean the best example would be Fish, right? Who made a name for himself just by playstyle. He's not streaming. Exactly. Nobody knows what he looks like, I think. But yeah, he's one of these guys.
Perfect example.
Would love to see more of those first-person streams. Yep. Opinion on the Dutch scene now?
Maybe.
Do we need an extra
Warcraft, hour? I think. No, not at all. Well, I mean, honestly, it's hard to say because I don't think there is a scene at the moment. I mean, we have the big name, right? Grubby, let's get it out of the way. But I think he's more of a scene on his own.
Yeah.
He's got his own brand, his own like approach to the stream, and like he does his thing.
Yeah.
He does it great, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's his thing, and there is no tournaments in Holland. I think there's no real new players joining. I mean, Milan Sasuke, he's the one of the old schoolers, I would say, the Night Elf, and he rejoined again. He started playing, but there's no real new players who are actually making a big impact, I would say. So it's a shame. I would have loved for more, but even Sushilicious, I think you know him as well.
Oh yeah.
Those kinds of players, they just stop playing again. Real life, other things, and it's just a shame.
Ikben Cool as well. He was playing for a couple.
Ikben Cool, yeah. He's off and on stream playing, but it's more like arranged team 4v4s for fun, etc.
So I heard some like on Twitter, the War3 Nation War account got reactivated. Is there an ups and down, like a thumbs up, thumbs down for a Dutch national team?
Oh, thumbs up for sure.
All right. So who's part of it?
I'll bring them back to active if I have to. I don't freaking care, bro.
All right.
No, Sasuke and me are gonna be the 2v2 and 2 solos, so that's already settled then.
Ooh.
And then depending on the format, because way back when it was only 2 players that you needed. So
true.
If it's that again, then we already got a team. Otherwise, we'll figure something out. Will be a problem.
And last question: what's your favorite Armin van Buren track?
Oh wow, that's so dirty as well.
That's so many of them.
Honestly, I like his. I always say it on stream, but I like his older work way more than now.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything that you need to find out what I liked about Armin van Buren, you should listen to the State of Trance year mix from 2008. That's my tip. There's a lot of songs. I loved Communications as a song. So I'll go with that as a track. But if you are at all interested in his music or in like the trance dance thing, listen to a State of Trance year mix 2008. That's my tip.
State of Trance, man. That was just great.
Oh, Armin only sets and the events every 50 episodes.
That was
Good
kind
stuff.
of like a podcast back then already.
Yeah,
So well done. So smart.
Very smart. He was the first one to actually like officially do it.
Yeah.
Like there were smaller ones, but he just went on another level.
And that made
radio
him famous.
Stations and he grew very fast from that.
It's a pretty good example. So that is it. That is episode 27. We took a little longer than expected, but it was just time flying by. You shouldn't be worried. I'm just worried about your time here on the Monday.
Mine is fine. As I said, I have 1 hour and 25 minutes
until the ESL Cup. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything you just want to put out there? Any shout outs, any call outs, anything you want to plug, like your Twitter, Twitch, anything you want to say? This is your stage now.
This is my stage. Okay, I'm not that guy, but I'll say Twitch. I stream almost every day. Wednesday's my day off, but it's twitch.tv/ArminvB90. Just come hang out. I'm enjoying the game as much as I can, and happy to help with everybody, helping to learn, answering questions. That's kind of how I want to be how I want my stream to be. So just come join at some point, and that's about it. I'll say shout out to you, Neo, for being you. Not a suck up, because I already am in the podcast, so I don't. But honestly, what you're doing for the community is even I would say still underappreciated. So keep it up. If I can help in any way, let me know. And other than that, just keep it going. And for the rest, I'll thank the community. Let's do it wholesome. Let's end wholesomely. Community, you are awesome. Even though sometimes debates about races, about balance, about manner, anything, but we are here because of you, and it's a success because of you. So don't underestimate the impact that you have by turning on a stream. Doesn't matter who, if it's Back2Warcraft or a small time streamer, doesn't matter. It helps a lot. And sign in to any cup that you can.
Exactly. We need to raise these numbers, just as Armin does, just as the Hippo does, role models of the scene, and always, or most of the time, wearing a smile on their faces,
most of the time.
playing them. Armin, thank you so much for taking the time here. 1.5 hours. Just with you. It's just a big pleasure. I said it after the first Xperion that side get heavy competition when it comes to the sweetheart of the scene, and I mean it, and I would love to hang out more. Hopefully next Xperion we're going to meet in person again, and until then, keep up the grind, man. Thank you
so much. Bye everybody.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. It was an XXL episode with Armin here, 1.5 hours. And this is possible due to our amazing Patreon support that we get each and every single month. It's over at patreon.com/Back2Warcraft. You can get quite a few perks there, access to secret discords where we show developments of the project. For example, the new in-game UI that we're working on. We got custom game evenings. We share our thoughts about music and movies over there. You can get replay cast of your own replays as well as coaching and so much more. So the best way to support the project is Back2Warcraft, the Patreon. Patreon.com/Back2Warcraft. But there's of course other options to do. You can like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're also on TikTok. Every subscriber on YouTube is very much appreciated. So wherever you see us, wherever you're around, in whatever social bubble you are, hit the like button. If there's a bell, ring it to get the notifications. Also here on Spotify or Deezer or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or wherever. It all helps the project. It helps with the algorithm. So I know the Warcraft scene doesn't really do that too much, but you can make a small difference. And if you don't like Patreon, you can of course subscribe to our Twitch. It's currently September, so subs are 20% off. That helps the project, as well as one-time donations that are possible over at Streamlabs. You can visit that via donate.back2warcraft.com. With your bank account, credit card. We even got cryptocurrency up at OneUpCoin. And of course, we have a merch store as well at merch.back2warcraft as well. Talking about the Patreons earlier, we got a lot of amazing supporters who also got the questions in here. Klubberquakes is of course the front runner with the golden goat status that he will probably never ever lose. We got also from the War 3 Champions team Toxie, we got Don Dolare, Grinchy, shout out to you for amazing questions as well. Jgats, I got an email from you that was really wholesome, so I thank you double for this month. And Pedrut, Scription from the Playing Ducks, Teggy. We also got ArminvB, not only on the podcast, also on the amazing Patreon list, as well as Burning Blades and KMS3D, but also the other guys at the lower tiers of our Patreons. We appreciate every single one of you a lot, and I hope you're looking forward to the next episode. Podcast, of course, always a little early over at the Patreon, so let us know, what do you think about it? Did you like this episode? Did you like Armin? Do you want to hear more from ArminvB? And who do you want to be the next guest on the Back to Warcraft podcast? Let me know, everybody, and see ya next week.